So this video is basically regarding an assignment that you have to do as part of your KTU syllabus. So what is done here is basically you have an uh, a app which basically interacts with the user, and you can access the database to perform the following functions. One is you have three fields to enter the roll number, the name, and the marks obtained, and you can insert it into the database. So if I zoom this video, you can see that this has got an insert button, this has got an update button, and this has got a delete, view, and it has got a view all button. So these are the elements that are associated in this particular program. So what I did initially was like what you must have seen in the previous video. I dragged and dropped all these elements. So this student details is basically a text view. This is basically a this is again a text view. This is but an edit text field, which is for number. This is again a text view for name, which means you can't edit or you can't edit this field over here, but whatever field or values you want to pass, it can be passed into an edit text field. And then you have the various other fields for entering the marks, and then you have these 5 buttons that are set. This layout is called constraint layout, and your parameters are connected in such a way that they are connected one after the other. So if you see this button over here, you can see that you can see that it is linked to the various elements surrounding here up to this point, this left corner, the right corner, and the delete button. So that is how this constraint layout is set over here, and you have the corresponding code over here for each of these elements. Now you have the button, you have the button for view all, you have the button for view, and then you have the Android description for all the attributes for all the elements that are placed over here, which is available under this activity underscore main XML file. And now you have this main activity.java. So let us take a look at this program and understand what happens over here. So you have this package being called, you have the import statement, you have the class main activity, which is implementing an on-click listener. You have these three fields, three variables: roll number, marks, name, and the button val and the variable to store the status of the buttons, and you're creating a database object over here. Inside the on create, your this much line of codes, it will be converting the status of the buttons to the corresponding variables that have been declared here. So that would be the use of these statements: find view by id. Then each of the button will be calling the function set on click listener. Depending on which button is being pressed, the respective on click listener will be called. So you have creating the database as well as table over here. So just like the statement that we saw earlier, you are using that open or create database function, and you're using the execute SQL function over here to run this particular uh, database as well as creating that table. So just like it has been mentioned, the database has been created here, and the table also has been created. So, and moving on, we are looking for the status of the click. So we are calling the function on click, and if the insert button is clicked, what should happen? You should see if there is an entry in the roll number field, the name field, and the mark field. If they are zero, if any of the fields are zero, you will get you will have to display a toast called enter all values, because only if you enter all the values, the respective entries must be accepted and entered into the database. So if that particular condition is not satisfied, then it will have to then it means that there is an entry at the respective columns. And now if that particular data has to be entered into the database, then as usual we call this statement execsql insert into the table the values, that is the roll number, name, as well as the marks, and then you display a text called the values have been entered using this toast. And then you, if you press the delete button, it will again enter the similar function. You'll have to if you have to delete an entry, then all you need to give is a roll number, So if there is a roll number that is entered, then it will delete this thing. If roll number is not entered, then it will display enter a valid roll number. So if there are only 5 entries, and if you give a case of 6 as a roll number, then it will display enter a valid roll number. Or if it is an invalid roll number, it will display the same. Now then, if you have to delete a record, you will have to execute a query first, and then you'll be deleting the particular uh, entry which is made corresponding to that particular roll number that you have entered. So that would happen over here. So you have to get the status from the table, and you have to select all the parameters where this particular roll number is 5, and if the wanted number, if the entry that should be deleted is 5, then what you do is you select that query, or you execute a query to get the data that is numbered 5. You get that, and we move first to that particular entry, and then we execute the delete statement, and then we say that the entry delete operation has been successful. Otherwise, we still give enter a valid roll number as the code. Now if you want to update something, again, if it is an entered thing only, it can valid. If it can be updated. So if you are checking a roll number, and if it is not present over there, then it should give you the message enter a valid roll number. And if similarly if you find out the entry is available over there, then that entry has to be searched using this raw query, and using that statement you will be moving first to that um, cursor, and you will be deleting that particular entry that has been made under that respective column. And if then we need to press the, or we need to give the message invalid roll number. Similarly, you have the option for viewing one particular detail. So if you have a number that will be entered, and if you want to display the particular details, you just have to feed in the number, and if that number is present over there, that particular uh, elements will be displayed in the respective column. And if you have some other and if you have the invalid number being passed, it should display an error message. And then if you want to see all the records that has been entered over there, you'll be using the codes as follow over here. So you'll be selecting the entire data table, and you'll be using a function called your show message to basically display the particular set of information that you want to see. So we'll see a demo of this particular app right now.